Hello and namaste. Welcome back to my channel, Our Shared Sanctuary. My name is Edith and I will be your guide in today's yoga practice. Today our class is Yin Yoga for emotional release. If you have blocks, feel free to grab them and bring them for our practice, but really all you need is a place to lay. It can be a mat or a towel and some comfortable clothing. I also would like to recommend doing this practice with a journal nearby so that you can write down anything that may come up for you, or just use it after the practice to continue processing your emotions. So this class focuses on sitting with whatever emotional experience that we are currently going through, and not only sitting with it, but working through it and releasing it fully from the body and from the nervous system. So we'll be working a lot with the hips as well as with the shoulders and the chest, places that we tend to store a lot of emotional energy. If you're not going through anything particularly emotional right now, that's totally okay. You can absolutely use this practice just to relax, to soften into your day, and to feel a little better both mentally and physically. So get your comfy clothes on and I will meet you on the mat. Okay, the first pose that we'll be taking in our practice today is child's pose. So coming from your seat into a tabletop position, align the wrists under the shoulders and open up the knees about as wide as the mat. You can go more narrow if you have tighter hips, and you can take the knees wider if you have really open hips and you'd like to stretch a bit deeper. Bring the big toes together behind you and then send the hips all the way back to the heels. From here, you're just going to walk the hands forward until the heart is as close to the mat as you can get it. Rest the forehead down on the mat and then allow the breath to just continue flowing in and out naturally. You can send the inhale to the lower back and the hips area, feeling that gentle expansion there. And as you exhale, releasing any energy from the hips and maybe snuggling the heart just a little closer to the mat. We'll rest here in our child's pose for the next few minutes. Just enjoy. Taking a few more deep breaths here, softening anywhere you can for these last breaths. And when you're ready, bringing a little energy back into the hands, pressing the palms into the mat, lift the head and chest, walk the hands back towards the body, and then carefully and slowly bring the knees together. We'll meet in our neutral tabletop. From here, we're going to awaken the spine. And just by moving through the spine, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So we're encouraging our body, both mental, physical, and emotional, to come into a greater state of ease and of rest. So on the inhale, we drop the belly down, heart opens, gently push the mat away for a nice long neck here. This is our cow pose. Exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine, in towards the ceiling. Deep arch as you hang the head between the shoulders here. And we'll just keep moving back and forth between those two poses. Inhale, belly drops low, finding your cow pose. Exhale, finding that deep arch, letting the head hang, cat pose. Allow your breath to guide you through these movements, and do your best to find a sense of fluidity, of flow as you move through the spine. You can close the eyes here. We'll just take a few rounds, so going at your own pace. Give yourself one more full round of movement. And we'll meet back in that neutral tabletop. So from here, we're going to continue flowing movements. So this time we're going to get into the hips a little bit more. As you inhale, pull the hips over to the right and forward. As you exhale, hips move to the left and back. Hip circles here, moving with your breath, feeling into the hips, bringing in a sense of warmth. And we're just starting to break up that energy even more, bringing a sense of flow into the hips. So breathe deeply. You can close the eyes as you move here. And really just enjoy this as almost like a hip massage. You can sigh out anytime you feel like it. That's the benefit of a home practice. You can really drop in. So make sure to reverse your circles when you're ready. Take them in the other direction. And start to slow your circles down. Coming to a stop back at our neutral tabletop. So we're going to get into the shoulders a little bit here. From your neutral tabletop, we'll move into thread the needle. Right palm presses firmly into the mat. Inhale, reach the left fingertips high, wide in the chest. Exhale, left hand slides under the right armpit all the way over the right edge of the mat. Bring the left ear to rest on the mat. So if this feels good, you can keep the right arm where it is. Otherwise, walk the right fingertips towards the top of your mat. The hips stay over the knees, and then become aware of the hips and just nudge them over to the left, just an inch or two. Notice how that takes you deeper into the pose. You're going to feel a big opening through the chest and the shoulders. And that is where we are directing the breath here. Especially focusing on long exhales, releasing any built-up tension or stress. We'll rest here for a few minutes. Very slowly, if you have the right arm extended, bring it back underneath the right shoulder. Press down into the mat. And if you'd like, you can send the left arm high one more time. Floating the left palm back down to the mat. We're just going to take it to the other side. So when you're ready, left palm presses firmly down. Inhale, reach the right fingertips high, widen through the chest. Exhale, thread the needle. Bring the right ear to rest on the mat, and then walk the left fingertips all the way forward. This is where we'll rest. slowly, as you feel ready to, you can walk the left hand back, press into the mat, release. If you'd like, send the right arm high one last time. And then floating it back down to earth. From our neutral tabletop, we'll move into our next pose, a deep hip opener. So we're gonna get into this quite slowly, making sure we're taking care of ourselves the whole way through. First thing we do is we'll start to draw the left knee in towards the top of the mat. Send the left knee behind the left wrist. Swing the left heel through. From here, I'm just gonna slowly walk my right knee further and further back, allowing the hips to soften towards the earth. If this is a little too much for you, you can take a block or a rolled up towel or a small pillow and slide it underneath the left hip. That's gonna give you a little bit more lift, a little support. From here, we're just gonna take the heart forward into a fold. So walking the hands forward, you can rest down on the forearms. If you'd like, you can place a block or a pillow under the forehead to rest down on as a support. Whatever you choose, really drop in, focus on the sensation arising in the hips. And again, I want to encourage you to really focus more on long exhales here as we're letting go of a lot of tension, of a lot of energy. And this is definitely one of those poses where some emotional experiences may come up. Just breathe through them and we'll rest here for the next few moments. will start to come out of this pose, pressing the palms and forearms into the mat. Slowly lift the head and chest. From here, really press down into the mat so that you can lift the hips and slide the left knee back. Back in our neutral tabletop. If you'd like to take some gentle hip circles in between, go ahead and do that. Maybe a couple of cat-cows. And we'll move on to the other side. So coming into our half pigeon, draw the right knee in towards the top of the mat, bring it behind the right wrist, swing the right heel through, and then I'm just walking my left heel back, my left knee back. Remember, you can always take that block, pillow, or towel and slide it under the right hip. When you're ready, come down to resting on the forearms, maybe using something to support the forehead here. Just rest down, invite in the breath, and enjoy for the next few minutes, remembering to emphasize your exhales. slowly, we will start to release, pressing the palms and forearms into the mat. Lift the head and chest. From here, really push into the mat to pick the hips up and just pulling that right knee back. From here, just make your way to a seated position. So coming into a seat, we're going to open the legs nice and wide, finding our straddle pose. And from here, we're just going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start to walk the fingertips forward. We can come to resting on the palms. You can just rest here, dropping the chin to the chest. And then softening in for the next few minutes. Big release for the hips and the low back area. Even a nice stretch down the backs of the legs and in the inner thighs. You can close the eyes here and fully drop into your release. And slowly, when you feel ready to, straightening the spine, coming out of your flow as gently as you can. If you had blocks or pillows, any kind of prop in front of you, just move it to the side. I like to cup my hands under the thighs, right under the knees, and gently just pull the legs in. Come into an easy seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Before we make our way down to lying on the back, we'll just do a very quick little shoulder massage. So using the right hand, grabbing the top of the left shoulder, just massaging anywhere where you feel tight or strain, gently squeezing, maybe some gentle rubbing. And just give yourself about 3 to 5 deep breaths. You can really sigh out on the exhale, letting that shoulder tension be fully released. You can make your way down the arm as well if that feels good. Very slowly start to release your massage. Let the right hand float down from the left shoulder. We'll go to the other side. Left hand to the right shoulder, finding the place where you'd like to massage, and then very gently bringing some warmth into that area. We don't want to be too rough on ourselves here. We want to calm the muscles rather than activate or inflame them. So just gentle touches here, long exhales. Taking a few more deep breaths. Last massage moments. And then releasing the left hand from the top of the right shoulder. We are going to make our way down to lying on our backs. And by the way, if you can hear that gentle snoring in the background, please excuse it. That is my puppy sleeping behind the camera, taking her morning nap. So meet me on the back, and when you get here, just hug both knees into the chest, snuggle the shoulders down away from the ears. Give yourself a big hug, a hug of self-love, self-care, and start to rock side to side, finding a massage across the lower back here. And when that feels good, we'll take a supine twist. Drop both knees over to the right side, extend the left arm straight out to the left side, resting it on the mat. So allow the gaze to rest in whatever direction feels the gentlest on the neck, and then just close the eyes and breathe into your twist. Think of the image of wringing out a towel. That's what we're doing for the spine here. We are wringing out any tension, any stress, not only from the spinal column, but also from the nervous system. So this is a really beneficial pose for emotional release and for a quick reset. It can be very purifying. So breathe deeply here. And remember, you can always sigh out loudly on that exhale. It can really help. Take a few more deep breaths in your twist. And when you're ready, just rolling back to center. You can take another massage, giving yourself a hug. And again, whenever you feel ready, just take the twist to the other side. Both knees drop to the left, this time extending the right arm. Allow the gaze to rest in whatever direction feels best. And just drop into your purifying twist. Couple more breaths here. And slowly start to make your way back to center. Give yourself one last hug, one last massage, option to take a happy baby if you'd like to. Just choosing what feels best for you for a few rounds of breath. And when you're ready, just extending the legs out long for our final Shavasana. If you have a blanket that you'd like to cover up with, go ahead and grab that now. And we'll just close the eyes and soak up these last few moments of serenity from our practice. If you have time, feel free to stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you'd like to. Otherwise, you can gently bring the awareness back to the surface. And we'll close our practice today by bringing the hands over the heart center, taking a big breath of compassion, gratitude, and self-love in. Thankful for showing up, for cultivating this wellness. That is a courageous act of self-love. And gratitude for your body, remembering that you are enough exactly as you have arrived today. Thank you so much for practicing with me. If you enjoyed this video and it helped you in any way, please like and subscribe, and feel free to share this with your loved ones or friends. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Namaste.